We are going to start up with our first demo on Spring Test, and that is to see how actually we can use JUnit with normal Java programs, for which we are going to start and create a new Java project. We'll just create a new Java project, select Java project, next, and give a name to this Java project. For example, I'm giving it a test2. Click on next. Here on this dialog box, now you have to add library which comes supplied along with Eclipse, and that library is JUnit 3 or 4. We are going to use 4, a recent version which has come up with annotations, and then we are going to click on finish. It's asking to change as perspective to Java perspective. Since it is a normal Java program, we can agree to it, and then we can click on finish, wait for the project to get set up. So now you have test2 here, which contains JUnit library. We'll create our class which we are going to test first, for which we'll just go click on this new and class. So always good practice to keep your classes in package. I'll write here com.service, and service that we are going to create here is calculator. So just name it as calculator, click on finish. Now the calculator class will have two basic methods: add int I, int j, and this method will have a very simple logic which returns I plus j. We can do it, we can add more methods to it, but in order to keep it simple so that we can see how JUnit is applied on it, we'll just take one method for which we will be writing test case. Now Eclipse comes along with a plugin for JUnit which helps us to generate test case for the class. So calculator is the class, select calculator, right click, new, and you have to just go and select JUnit test case. Here name of the test case will be calculator test. Click on next, and before you click on next you will have four methods: see setup before class, setup, tear down, and set down after class. So this will be get executed before in class, and setup and tear down are the methods which will be called whenever you are making call to a particular test case. I'll just go and select test setup and tear down. Click on next. Method that you want to test is add. Click on finish. Now here you will have your test class. If you see before, after, I'll just do some sys out here. Before test, and here also I'll do after test. Sys out after. And if you see right now we are using a method called as fail, which mandatorily fails the test and indicates that it's not yet implemented. Now we have to identify our fixture that we are going to test. We are going to test calculator class, so we'll take here calculator, and setup will be used in order to create the fixture. So calculator fixture is the infrastructure which is required in order to do the testing. I'll just go here, and in my test I'll be using an assert statement which will check for our test. You can say these are asserts which are used in order to test conditions. So here expected, for example, I'm taking 20 here. This is what is expected. And actual, you will take calculator dot add, and you'll pass here 10 and 10. 10 and 10 will result in 20, so this test should pass if logic is fine. Our test is ready. We are using three annotations: @test, just before or above, test add method, then after, and before, to set up our fixtures. In order to run the test, we have to just take a simple step: select calculator test, right click, and go to run as. In run as, you have to select test as JUnit test, run as JUnit test. Now here it will be preparing report for you. If you see this JUnit prepares a report, it tells you total number of runs are 1, 0 errors, 0 failures, and here it shows you that test add has successfully executed. This is what is JUnit test. And if you see before and after are executed, before this test add was called. Now in order to show you that setup and teardown will be called for each test case method, I'll just add one more method here called as public int subs, and here I'll pass int I, int j. Not much of change in the logic except I minus j. Your method is ready. You can go and add this method here as well. You'll be writing public void test subs, and this is what is the skeleton of your test method. Don't forget to use @test. We have used here @test, and if you see name of the method is subs, we are using here same name of the method after test, and we'll be using assert statement here as well. I'll just copy this assert and I'll paste it here and change it to 0, and instead of add we'll make call to subs, because this is what is test under consideration. I'll just go and save it, and once again I'll do what? I'll just run the test, run as JUnit test, and if you see it executed. Interesting here is this before and after gets executed twice. For each test case it gets executed at least once. This is how you will be setting up your normal simple JUnit test case.